Hi there everybody. In this tutorial I will be showing you step by step how to make what I think is probably the easiest baby blanket out there. To be honest, it is absolutely beautiful. So you can see the mix of stitches here gives a beautiful look and also a nice bit of texture as well. So it is completely reversible, as you can see, and it looks absolutely amazing no matter what yarn you work it up in. But I have decided on the tutorial to do it in this beautiful classic cream colour, so it's very traditional, but it is going to look absolutely beautiful. So this is obviously only quite a small sample size piece for you, but this is just for the purpose of the tutorial. So I wanted to be able to show you how it looked in different styles and weight of yarn. So this is the same pattern but being done in a super chunky. So this is the Stylecraft Super Chunky, the XL one, and this is what it looks like in that particular yarn worked up with a 10mm hook. So again, you still get all the nice stretch, but it's still a nice closed stitch, but it still looks really nice even as a super chunky. So obviously at this time of year you might not be thinking about a super chunky, but I just wanted you to be able to see how it looks like that. But for the purpose of the tutorial I'm just using some leftover yarn that I've got here. I think this was Karen Simply Soft, but you can use absolutely anything at all that you want. So it is the most beautifully simple pattern to work up, and it is just 2 rows of different stitches. So it's super simple. So there is no set foundation chain for this project. You can use any number of stitches, but remember you will be chaining the width of your project. So you will simply yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through. So just do any chain, any width. It doesn't have to be any multiple. You just chain until it is as long as you want it to be. Okay, so I've got my foundation chain now, and we are going to work back along this doing UK double crochet. But please do remember that in the US this is your single crochet. So obviously if you didn't want to start with the chain, you can use the chainless foundation row if you wanted to as well, just done with UK doubles. It's completely up to you. But we're going to work this time into the second chain from the hook. So you've got 1 and 2, and you're going to insert your hook into that stitch, yarn over and pull up. You'll have 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through both. Insert your hook into the next chain, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through both. So you're just going to work 1 UK double into every single chain along, and I will meet you once you have completed that. I'm just doing my very final stitch before my slip knot, and there we go. So it will curl up on you, but don't worry about that, it will even out as you work up your next row. So we have got now a nice row of UK double crochet. So we're going to turn our work now, and we are going to insert our hook into this very first chain here. So just move that working end out of the way and insert your hook through the whole of that stitch, yarn over and pull up, and yarn over, pull through both. So you can see now this stitch has 2 vertical sections to it. You're going to go behind the one closest to your working end, yarn over and pull up, and yarn over, pull through both. And that is just giving us a nice thick treble height stitch, but without having to do the chain 3, which would then leave the gap. So that is counting as our first treble. So remember, this is UK treble. In the US this is your double crochet. You're then going to do a treble in the next stitch along. So you're going to yarn over, insert into that next stitch, go through the whole of the stitch, yarn over and pull up, and you'll have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through the final 2, and you're just going to work a treble into every single stitch along. So like I say, it is probably the easiest blanket pattern to work, but you do just get a nice little mixture of stitches when you look back over the project. It does give a really nice finish. So if you work now all the way across, doing 1 UK treble into each stitch. I'm pretty much at the end of my row now. You can see I've got a stitch here to work into, and then the funny little stitch right at the very end. So you can see quite clearly there I have got 2 V's left to work into. So I've got this final one to work now. Oops. And that is how we should be looking now. And so again, we're going to turn our work and we're going to switch back to the UK double now. So again, into this very first stitch just here, you will insert your hook. So just mind that working end slightly, and then yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through both. And that is our first UK double, US single. So you may wish to pop a stitch marker in this stitch just for when you work back along shortly, but otherwise you will do 1 UK double into every stitch along. So as I said, easiest, simplest pattern for you to work up. So it is brilliant for beginners, but also like me, if you're just after a really simple, mindless project that you don't have to think about, then this is a great one. So again, work that all the way along and I will meet you again in just a second at the other end. Once again, I'm getting towards the end of this particular row, and again I have got 2 stitches left here to work into. I've got 1 and then the final funny one that we did at the beginning of the last round. So again, always mark those very first stitches if you feel like you need to. If you're not 100% sure on your stitch placement just yet, then it is a really good idea to mark them. So again, this is how we're looking so far. So we are starting to build up some nice little bits of detail now. So I will just show you how to start off this next row once more. So you will turn, and then we're switching back to UK trebles this time. So you'll need to do your treble height stitch. So again, insert into that very first stitch, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through both, and then behind the vertical one closest to your working end, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through both, and then you're ready to continue with your UK treble all the way along. And remember to mark that first one that we did a moment ago if you need to. Those are your 2 rows, and you're just going to repeat them over and over again until your blanket or project is as big as you need it to be. But just remember, if you're a bit like me and you like everything to try and be symmetrical, then try and finish on a UK double row, because that is what we started with at the very beginning. And then you are free to add any sort of border that you wish. Obviously, with it being a nice simple stitch for the main body of the blanket, you can either keep it really simple, or you can add a little bit of pizzazz, if you like, with a more extravagant border. But do remember, there is a border playlist on the channel for you already, which I add to regularly when I have a new one to share with you. But I will also leave a little clickable one for you at the end of the video. But yeah, that is your 2-row repeat, and I will see you for another tutorial very soon. Bye for now.